No matter how many times I do this, I'm always like a little bit nervous when I have to turn on the record. But hi everyone, my name is Vani, and here on my channel, I talk about all the things that I am learning and unlearning. And today I wanted to talk about the many things I have learned from being on YouTube with less than 100 subscribers. I think right now I'm at 82 or 83. And, so many times we think that in order for things to be life-changing, they have to be monumental, right? Like a lot of people have to be behind us, or we have to do something big. We have to have some kind of major accomplishment under our belt. And the reason why I wanted to talk about this is because I feel like a lot of times we don't realize that a lot of really big life changes happen in kind of like the small everyday moments of our lives. And so, yeah, let's talk about it for a little bit. So one of the things that has really changed my life in terms of getting on YouTube is doing something really scary, right? I've been wanting to go on YouTube for about 10 years. I've always kind of like put it off, you know what I mean? Always honestly just made excuses as to why I couldn't or shouldn't, or honestly, yeah, girl, I was making excuses. But I think that this was a very scary thing for me, right? As it would be for a lot of people, going online as a Black woman in the year of our Lord 2025 with this current administration is interesting to say the least. And I'm gonna just leave it there. And I think there's so much angst and just fear of putting yourself out there, putting yourself online, especially in public, a lot of times social media is rife with misinterpretations, people taking things personally, cancel culture, right? And so it's really hard to get online and speak your truth and be authentic when at any point in time that could be misconstrued, right? Like you could say something so benign as like, oh, the sky is a shade of light blue, and all of a sudden you're being canceled because the sky was dark blue that day. You know what I mean? Like, and so it's really hard, right, to make that decision to come online, to speak your truth, to hopefully help inspire people in the current climate that we have, right? This is not, 2010s Tumblr. If you want to know more about how the internet was back in the day, I'm going to link a video in my description below where I talk about how the internet used to be like a really cool place 10, 15, 20 years ago. So I think for me, doing that really scary thing, even with less than 100 subscribers, was a big thing for me, right? As someone who is much more comfortable behind the camera as opposed to in front of the camera, just overcoming my fear and being like, you know what I have to say matters. And the people who I hope to inspire, they also matter. And that matters more than any excuse that I have to not sit in my calling, if for lack of a better word, and to not put myself out there. Another thing that I have gained from being on YouTube with less than 100 subscribers is a community. I am part of a Black woman content creator group. I recently met up with another content creator. We did a YouTube class together. Shout out to Stephanie Perry. And I have been in such beautiful community with people who I would have never ever met had I not gotten on YouTube. Even with people subscribing to my content or commenting, right? Like, we talk so much about how the internet is a lonely and isolated place. And it is, right? I'm not going to discount that. But we tend to forget how much community we have on the internet, in the internet, right? Like, there are people out there who are just like us, who are wanting to do the same things we do, who have the same, dreams and goals and aspirations, who are looking for me, who are looking for you, who are looking for all these people, right? And when I think about the ways that being online has enriched my community, both offline and online, it makes me realize that, yeah, like I did a really good thing being on YouTube, even though like it's hard, right? It's hard to press record. Another thing that I've learned is really just like, yes, A, overcoming my fear, and B, sitting in the knowledge that one of my life's many purposes is to inspire people, is to make people feel less alone, is to make people feel like they belong, is to like maybe show people that there is a better life for you out there, despite you being Black or a woman or whatever, right? And I think for a long time, I have kind of like shied away from that, right? A lot of times as women, especially as Black women, we're told to be humble and to downplay our accomplishments and talents. And I've had to realize that, like, no, the reason why this has been nagging me for 10 years is because I'm supposed to be on here, and something that I'm supposed to say, or something that I am going to say, is going to touch somebody's life in a way that is going to have profound ripple effects. And it sounds weird for me to even say that, right? Like, who am I to think that whatever I'm going to say is going to change someone's life, right? But like, why can't I think that? You know what I mean? And for me, I want to inspire people. I want Black women to live in joy. I want us to realize that, like, no matter where you come from or where you started, it doesn't necessarily mean that you have to end there. You know, like I grew up mostly working class. I grew up in a dangerous city. I grew up where, you know, it was more likely for people who look like me to get pregnant at a really young age or to be a part of the prison system, right? And, you know, I don't shy away from that because that is a part of who I am in my upbringing. But I also do realize that, you know, I also come from privilege as well, right? Like, I do have certain privileges. Like, I have a graduate degree. I live in a popular urban metropolitan area, right? And so I want to talk about how, like, where you start is not necessarily where you end. And I think for so many of us where we're kind of feeling hopeless a little bit, right, with the current state of affairs, I don't know what I can and cannot say because, you know, I don't want this video to get blocked or whatever. I think it is so easy for a lot of us to feel hopeless, and I get that, right? But one thing that being on YouTube has taught me is that there is hope. We will get through this season and this time. And that this one thing about life, everything is temporary, even your own, right? Even our own lives are temporary. None of us live forever. Honestly, I don't want to live forever. Like, let me die whenever I'm supposed to die. You know what I mean? Hopefully I live a long and fruitful life. Hopefully I don't die like tomorrow, you know? But like, everything is temporary, and the only constant part of life is that life changes. And for me, I think being on here has made me realize that I need to live in my truth more. I need to express my truth more because I don't know when I'm going to leave this earth, and I don't want to leave this earth without tapping into the gifts, without tapping into that inner voice that has been telling me for 10 years that I am supposed to do something to inspire people, to help people realize that they can live better, do better, be more joyful. And not joyful in like a materialistic sense, joyful in the sense that, like, no matter what happens in your life, you and your community are your anchors. And despite what life throws at you, you know you have yourself and you know you have your people, and that's all that really matters. So yeah, for me, I wanted to be the change that I wanted to see in this world. I know that's like a corny quote, and like everybody says that all the time, but like I wanted to do that. So for me, I've been on YouTube for about a year now. I wasn't consistent at first, and this is my first video in a couple of weeks, but yeah, I've learned so much by being on here, and just not being afraid to be my authentic self on camera, and kind of standing on business, to be honest, and saying, like, you know, my life is my life. My experiences are my experiences. Not everybody's going to relate to them, and not everyone is going to agree, but it doesn't matter, because for the people who can relate, for the people who can see somebody that looks like me and realize that they're not alone, me going on YouTube, me overcoming my fear of being visible, me me just being me, right? That would have mattered. So yeah, that's it, y'all. Thank you so much for watching. If you like what you heard, please like and subscribe. Check out some other videos that I have as well. And until next time, take care. Love you all and see you soon. Bye.